Oh, my lord, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh, yes, I would. I would suck his dick. So what are you ladies discussing?
Books?
Welcome to the Nerd Blitz Book Club. Pull up a seat and pull down your pants. Listen to us read and go on rants. Hey gang, thanks for joining us this week for the Nerd Blitz Book Club. I'm Doom.
And I'm Fitz.
And did you hear the way my voice fucking went up? It was like, I'm Doom!
I did. I was going to say, and Doom just hit puberty.
We're gonna read a book today!
His balls just dropped.
Oh, god damn. In your mouths!
Oh, sick burn.
Oh, yeah, woo, yahoo, yeah!
That's not very literary.
What? What was that?
I don't think they talk like that in Oprah's book club.
No, but our intro, they talk like that, I bet.
Maybe. We have grade A celebrities in our intro.
Damn straight, Skippy. And then there's fucking me to slum up the joint.
To ruin it, yeah.
Yep. So yeah, we're back for our second fucking episode. You were supposed to get pumped and growl and shit.
It's book club, man. You're supposed to keep it civilized.
Oh, are you?
Supposed to keep it proper.
Fuck that. So yeah, we're back to talk about the next, 2 chapters of Star Wars Dark Disciple by Christie Golden?
Right, chapters 3 and 4, if you're following along at home. Which I really hope somebody does.
Yeah, I was going to say, please follow along at home. Read the book with us.
Yeah, this was kind of meant to be interactive.
Yeah, and then, in between episodes every week, either tweet or email us and say, you guys are fucking stupid. You should have talked about this, assholes. Somebody read along with us, man. We're lonely. And fuck it, let's just put it all out on the line. We're recording and banking a couple of these just so we don't miss a week. I fucking divulged our deepest, darkest secret.
Yep, and these doesn't matter how far ahead of ourselves we get, unlike the weekly episodes that we were banking, or not the weekly, but the regular episodes. Those quickly get really dated.
Yeah, we've noticed. Because, people are, let's nail this down in time. People are still like, when are you guys going to talk about Scooby Apocalypse? Scooby Apocalypse, when are you going to talk about that? The issue came out 2 months ago. Well, this coming week, episode 7, where we talk about Scooby Apocalypse drops.
Yes, I'm frantically trying to edit it now.
Well, you've been busy, but fuck it, we gotta stay on target.
Yes.
Let's dive into it, I guess. But, as we have to say at the beginning of every episode, though, just so people know, huge spoiler alert for Star Wars as a whole, the book, Star Wars The Clone Wars, which this book is technically a part of. Just spoiler alert, we're gonna be fucking talking about every fucking inside and out detail of Star Wars on this.
Yeah, and there's no telling where the conversation may go, so there's no way to give you specific spoiler warnings. So it could be anything.
And it gets annoying if, we're getting ready to talk about something and it's like, and then, oh, wait, sorry, spoiler alert. So let's just get it out here at the front. For everything Star Wars, spoiler alert, you've been warned. Proceed.
Okay, so last time we ended at chapter 2. The entire Marin planet had been taken over by the Separatists, and the whole, I don't know, did they ever say all of them? I guess they did, huh? They basically, like, wiped out the entire population.
The entire population of the planet is gone, but
the Separatists have moved in.
Yeah, but, like, Voss's little buddy...
Well,
yeah.
He's
one of the few survivors.
Right. That whole planet's been taken over by the Separatists. The people have been wiped out. The Jedi Council have decided that they can't let Dooku live any longer. Like, this is getting ridiculous. And they've decided to send out a Jedi with the express orders to assassinate Count Dooku.
And we find out in Chapter 3 exactly who that Jedi is.
Quinlan Voss was on an assignment trying to break up a black market operation. In Chapter 2, we see him recalled to Coruscant to the Jedi Temple, and that's where we left off.
And we start off Chapter 3 where they truly reveal that it is indeed Quinlan Voss. In Chapter 2, they didn't exactly say his name.
That's true. He was undercover, so they used his undercover identity to refer to him.
Quinlan's sort of reminiscing about...
Right. When he gets back to the temple, he's kind of thinking back to when he was a kid and the time that he spent in the temple. Because apparently he doesn't get back very often. He's usually like on deep cover assignments. Which
could actually explain my question from last episode where I asked, why doesn't Dooku recognize him?
Right. Yeah, I was going to bring that
or
up.
Why wouldn't?
Was that he's, he would be familiar with all the people in the temple, but that doesn't mean Quinlan Voss was around that much, because clearly he's not around that much.
Because, like I said in the last episode, he's got to be around Qui-Gon's age, but...
Yeah, in fact, I think, if I remember correctly, in the Clone Wars episode that he was in, wasn't that the first time that Ahsoka or Anakin, one of the two, was the first time that they had ever met him? Like they had, it's one of those things where they had heard the name, but never actually met him.
I would think it has to be Ahsoka, because Anakin, doesn't he meet Quinlan here in a few minutes in Chapter 3?
Oh, for the first time?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
No, I don't know.
No, I don't think it was. I think he knows him.
Yeah, I got confused for a second. I thought this was before those episodes.
No, this is...
I swear to God, I'm not fucking stoned or anything. I never have been, man. Yeah, so let's get back on track. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know about those episodes. That's another one of those things, like I kept saying last episode, I should have done more research. I've been fucking working on other shit for this pod. Mm-hmm. It just slipped my mind, so hopefully before we record next time I can I or both of us can rewatch those episodes so we can get a little bit more context.
I had intended to, and then I didn't either.
Well, it's like I meant to Google the morons. I meant to, Google them and try to get a visualization, but as you said, there wasn't one anyway. I just forgot to Google it, though. But yeah, don't bother. They ain't out there.
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting, like him taking a walk down memory lane when he gets back to the Jedi Temple. I thought it was interesting too, and later they actually have a scene where they're eating lunch in like the Jedi cafeteria.
Yeah, that was kind of strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me of Harry Potter. Like they all go to the Great Hall for lunch.
Yes. And it's one of those things where, I got the same Harry Potter vibe from it, but you're not really used to seeing Jedi do those mundane...
Yeah, they might as well have had somebody taking a shit.
Yeah.
Hurry up, I gotta get in there.
They're struggling with the flusher, like, oh, come on, it's not that big a fucking dump. Whoosh. Whoosh. Come on, go down. Can somebody get me a plunger?
It's a fucking lightsaber plunger.
And you fucking...
snake the drain with it.
Blarf, blarf, blarf. Oh, they do have lightsaber or laser whips.
Yeah. Is that canon?
Well, that'll snake a dream. I don't know.
I don't think that's canon. We can't use that in our toilets.
I can. It's in my canon right now.
I'll just use a force push.
That's what he was using to get the turd out. Yeah, so we're keeping it classy.
Yep.
All the way to Christmas. Sorry. Let's get back on track. Right here, they actually mention the episodes where Quinlan was around on, I guess it was Nal Hutta, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where they were tracking down Zero the Hutt.
Right. Yeah, I was glad they included that because I knew he had been in the series once because I remember it being a big deal. Everybody was shitting their pants because, oh my God, they're actually going to put him in something.
Yeah.
Then the reaction was, well, that wasn't what I expected him to be like.
Really? Did people not really like the episodes or what?
No, I think they liked the episodes. I think they maybe like the characterization wasn't the way they thought.
Well, see, like I said before, they had a lot to choose from because Quinlan had a lot of personalities in the comics and novels and all that shit. They had some versions of him where he was like a hardcore badass that felt like he was going to the dark side at any minute.
Yeah.
Then they had versions of him where he was like, peace and love, man. I'm Quinlan Voss. Let's mellow out. And then they had some versions where he was like Native Americans, where he was real into
like
using
the Earth.
the spiritual side and get back to Earth, that type of shit. So, I mean, they had a lot to fucking choose from as far as how they brought him to life. And from what I remember, it seems like they picked and choose, and pieced together a personality for him that's official.
In this book so far, he seems more like a kind of like a smartass or not a very serious person.
Yeah, he seems real jokey and carefree.
Right, he almost seems like a Han Solo type Jedi.
Yeah, kinda. But, they talk about tracking down Zero, and, him and Obi-Wan meet up again, and they've got a real weird ball-busting...
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool, though, the little exchange. Like, he's kind of like exasperated because Quinlan Voss is late as usual because he was busy, daydreaming.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just saying it's a strange fucking relationship for Jedi to be real ball-busting like that. Then we jump into the meeting where shit goes down and they lay it all on the line.
Yeah, they hammer out the details of what his assignment's going to be, and that's like the first time that he actually like kind of sobers up and is like, "Whoa, like you want me to do what?
You want me to do what with who and the where?"
Yeah.
It quickly comes out who they want him to team up with because they don't think it's a solo mission. But before that comes out, we've got this eerie kind of look at the future where they're trying to figure out who's going to go and kill Dooku. And Yoda says he's not going alone. And who steps up and volunteers but Anakin?
Mm-hmm.
And right there, Kenobi thinks right there of jumping in and putting a stop to it because he knows these two together would just be asking for trouble. And
well, yeah, because they're both like loose cannons.
Exactly.
Like you get the two Jedi who are least likely to follow the rules.
Mm-hmm. And he's, been training Anakin for over 10 years now. Trained him and been partnered with him and all that. So he's probably got a hint of Anakin's dark side leanings and knows that switch could probably be flipped at any second. So he doesn't want to put him on a mission where flat out you're going to kill somebody. Somebody
who could easily seduce you.
Yeah.
If he pushes the right button.
And right then and there, before Obi-Wan can say it, Yoda tells him, that shit ain't happening.
Nope, you already fucked up once. He's basically told him you had your chance. And got your fool arm cut off.
Yoda says that he has another person in mind, somebody who's closer to Dooku than anybody else, which leads Obi-Wan to say, oh shit, not Ventress.
Yeah, he knew exactly who he was talking about at that point, and just like anybody would think, like, this terrible idea just got a whole lot worse. Which
we were talking about before, this is leading them down a dark path. You see how far the Jedi have gone. Okay, yeah, Ahsoka teamed up with Ventress, but that's when she was booted out of the Order and trying to clear her name. Right. You can understand that, sorta. These are Jedi at the height of their power, and they're like, fuck it, let's team up with somebody who is trained as a Sith.
Yeah, somebody who has no problem doing wet work.
Yeah, and it's not like Ventress was, I abhor the ways of the Sith, She was just cut off.
Yeah, she was basically cut off because Dooku tried to kill her.
Because he was ordered to.
Yeah, so really she's just like, mostly she's like, fuck Dooku.
Yeah, she's not fuck the Sith.
Not necessarily.
So it's like, yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea, guys. Hello, can you hear me back here?
Mm-hmm.
Voss gets his mission and his orders to run off and try to kill Dooku with...
Which is kind of an interesting... The way they tell him to do it's kind of interesting. Like, so first you have to go and find Asajj Ventress. Okay, we don't know where she is. You're going to have to go find her. And second of all, you have to get her to help you kill Dooku, but she can't know who you are or why you want to kill Dooku, really. There's so much trickery that's going to have to be involved in getting this to work. I don't... Like, this plan is really fucking stupid.
It's convoluted and
I mean,
it's fucking nuts.
It's very interesting for a book, but...
Yeah.
Dude, this is not a good plan.
Yeah. For an episode, it would be kind of hard to swallow.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why it's like fucking 8 episodes long.
Uh-huh. Because, I mean, how do you fucking go about, okay, you're a Jedi, but you can't tell her. You've got to find her. We don't know where she is.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to kill Dooku, but she can't know why you want to kill him. Good luck.
And she can't know how you know that she wants to kill Dooku.
Exactly. So, yeah, it's a real fucking...
Yeah, and like you can't just straight out come out and ask her and say, hey, you want to go kill Dooku?
So, what's your favorite planet in the galaxy? Yeah, mine too. What's your favorite kind of droid? Yeah, mine too.
Who you want to kill?
Yeah.
Who's your biggest enemy? Like, if you could kill one person, who would it be?
Oh my god, you want to kill Dooku? I want to kill Dooku!
I want to kill him too.
You know, I think we should team up and kill Dooku.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see how he, like, sweet talks her or manipulates her. And it was funny in the cafeteria scene where they're eating lunch and he's talking to his friend that Marin Jedi, and then Obi-Wan comes over and Obi-Wan comes over and is like, hey, we need to talk about some more details on this, and he's basically telling him she's really hot, so when you see her and if you don't like pop a rod in front of her or something, she's gonna think something's up. She's gonna expect you to hit on her, so you better hit on her.
And Voss is like, wait, aren't we supposed to not do that?
Mm-hmm.
And Kenobi's like, yeah, we're not supposed to, but if you don't...
Mm-hmm. She's gonna know you're a narc.
So, kind of do it. And Voss is like, but, and he's like, look, dude.
Yeah, just do it.
It's just how she works. Don't ask questions.
Yeah, she'll like it. She'll shoot you down and think that she's in control, and that's your in.
And the other funny part of that, about that cafeteria scene, is when Kenobi walks up, he kind of just looks at Desh and he's like, hey kid, beat it. Adults need to talk.
Right.
And the dude's like, okay, my bad, I gotta go. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I just hate myself because I said my bad so easily.
It's okay.
Dude pimps off and then he's telling Voss, like, okay, wear some sweatpants and kind of present it to her. This is a no jeans mission.
Can you make your eyes do that Friz Freeling thing where they bug out of your head?
And have your tongue fucking drop down like your Gene Simmons? Be like, Auga! And Voss is like, I mean...
I guess.
If I've gotta, sure. Let's do it. And he... after Obi-Wan tells him that, Voss says, I think that killing Dooku's gonna be the easy part.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way we just described this whole plan, that sounds like the easy part.
Which, I mean, we're over the top with it, but come on, it's not that far off.
Yeah, we're exaggerating, but like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how they pull this off, how they get him to convince her to help him do this and make it believable.
And it's funny because we're talking about the way you got to banter with Ventress, but the way Voss and Kenobi banter, it's like, can I get like a movie of this, please?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like the greatest buddy cop movie ever.
Yeah, I really am bummed that these never got produced
Yeah.
into a cartoon.
Mm-hmm. And, if you want to talk about bummed, the first page of chapter 4, the first fucking 2 words of it had me bummed.
Oh, I know. That's what I said. Like the first sentence of chapter 4. I think I DM'd that to you when we were reading it because I didn't think you had got there yet. And I was like, oh my God, the first sentence of chapter 4.
Yeah. Which, the chapter starts off, level 1313. And I was like, oh.
Yep. And so for anybody who doesn't know, that's...
Before George Lucas sold Star Wars and Lucasfilm to Disney, there had been this big fucking announcement about a new game they were making called Star Wars 1313, which was set on one of the levels of Coruscant, 1313. And in that Ahsoka arc, that last arc of season 5, they went to level 1312.
Yeah.
So I saw that after, George sold the company and everything, and I saw that and I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you're fucking jiggling my balls, but you're never gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
I read this and it's like, oh!
Yeah, and that game was like big shit because you were supposed to be... Well, 1313 is the level where a lot of like gangster shit happens, like a lot of illegal shit. And it's basically 1,313 levels above the core of the planet. So there's like the core, and then all the cityscapes are built on top of each other. And so this is the 1,313th level of that.
Which sounds
like a lot. Which sounds like a
Yeah.
lot until the next sentence when they explain to you that there's like 6,000 levels above that before you get to the surface.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like, I know they've said the population of this planet before, but...
I think the technical number is an assload.
Uh-huh. This isn't like one planet. It's like 4,000 planets.
Yeah, exactly. Like the entire surface of the planet is covered like 6,000 times. So yeah, it's like 6,000 planets each inside each other.
Like nesting eggs.
Exactly.
And it's like, holy shit. But yeah, 1313, it was a game that they were working on where supposedly you were going to play a bounty hunter, I think it was.
Right. And then the unspoken truth was that bounty hunter was going to be Boba Fett.
Was it though?
That's what most people were saying, that they were designing it. They weren't saying it and they weren't using the name, but the intention was that you were going to end up playing as Boba Fett.
See, I don't know if that's true or not, because if you look at all that stuff from the game, the character you were supposed to be playing looked an awful lot like Mark Hamill.
Oh, yeah.
So
well,
I
don't know. I had heard that they were
Well, I mean,
they were
it's
redeveloping
possible.
it to do that. Like it changed midstream.
Yeah.
Like somebody was like, "Well, hey, why are we creating a new character? We could just make them play Boba Fett." They would fucking nut their pants if they played Boba Fett.
That's entirely possible, but that first trailer they released at E3 that year, that had Mark Hamill's face in it.
Yeah, which I think is like really the only thing that actually got made was that trailer.
Pretty much, yeah. And they're saying that there's a chance that game could still be picked up and redeveloped and released.
Right, or that it could be redeveloped into another medium, the story of it.
True. The last thing I heard was from EA. They were saying that they were looking at it as a potential future game.
It's not off the table.
Which is like, okay, that's cool and all, but fuck. But yeah, I read that first fucking 2 words on here and it's level 1313 and it was like, you son of a bitches, you're just fucking with me now. So yeah, this chapter started off depressing as fuck.
Oh yeah,
and,
because
yeah. And it's got Voss. Voss is the reason we're down on 1313. And he's going into the underworld to find a way to find Ventress.
Right. He's looking for a lead.
Yes, and who does he run across?
Bosk. He just happens to just sidle up next to Bosk at the bar. And I was like, oh shit, I know where this is going.
And the funny thing is, right here it says the Trandoshan Bosk, Voss recalled, was known for hunting Wookiees with a viciousness and thoroughness that surpassed even that of most Trandoshan members of the Bounty Hunters Guild.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was, but we've seen that fucking Trandoshans in the Clone Wars loved hunting them some fucking Wookiees.
Yeah, it wasn't Bosk, but they were Bosk-like.
Yeah, they were other Trandoshans. Which, that's something that's interesting to me, too. What the fuck is it about Wookiees in Star Wars? In the old canon, in the new canon, why the fuck is everybody hunting down Wookiees and trying to enslave them?
Because they're strong.
Which, to me, is like, I'm not gonna fuck with them, because they'll rip my goddamn arms off.
Yeah, but you get a couple of shock collars on them, and they'll probably chill out.
True. But yeah, that's something I've always noticed about Star Wars. They're always fucking trying to put Wookiees in chains and shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, that started with Episode 3, really. Like, the defeat of them on their homeworld.
Yeah.
I think that's where the... well, I guess that's not true, because Clone Wars happened before Episode 3, and they were capturing slaves, Wookiee slaves.
Are you talking about in-universe now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, chronologically.
I don't know if it happened before that in some of the old EU shit either. Because like I said, it was in the old EU and it's in the new canon too. Everybody's trying to enslave Wookiees and I always noticed it and it's like, that's weird. Anyways, let's get back to this. He meets Bosk who...
At first doesn't want anything to do with them.
Yeah, but he's, somehow fucking convinces him through slamming Ventress, claiming she stole a job from him, which, I mean, how else do you get a bounty hunter on your side and be like, did somebody steal a job from you? They stole one from me, too. Let's be super best buds.
Yeah, fuck that bitch. Let's go get her.
Yeah, fucking bald banshee, which is an exact quote.
Yeah, he called her the bald banshee.
And he gets in good with Bosk, and Bosk's friends
might know where she could be found. So he takes Voss over to meet his friend.
Friends.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've met all of these bounty hunters before, and we're gonna save the best for last, obviously.
As if you can't figure out who it is.
Which, this one dude, I'm trying to find his name again, Embo, we've seen him quite a few times through the Clone Wars, and it's like, that's really fucking cool to me that they keep bringing this dude back. Yeah,
Embo is like the Boba Fett of the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Boba Fett's not even the Boba Fett of the Clone Wars.
That first appearance, did he have that dog with him? That Anuba?
I think so. The one that was like the Seven Samurai?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
did you know? Here's a piece of trivia for you, speaking of Embo. Do you know that that's Dave Filoni?
No, I didn't.
Yep. That's him doing the voice for him.
Which I've fucking watched. I always check the credits, so I guess I did know it, but
I don't think he gets credit. I don't think he credits himself ever.
No, he does.
Does he?
Every once in a while, he does take a credit on the show.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure if he took a credit or not. I just remember them talking about it on RFR.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I didn't remember or not. I might have known it, I don't know. Talking up my ass at this point. But yeah, we've got Embo, who he's a tall, lanky dude, and he's got a hat that he uses, kind of like Captain America uses a shield.
Mm-hmm.
Which, that I always thought was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
He was in like 3 or 4 different arcs of the Clone Wars. Then there's, what's her name? Latz Razzie? Is that her name? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Latz Razzie.
Yeah, she's got a, grappling boa, which she was in that, train job arc from Clone Wars.
With Boba Fett and Dengar and Bosk and her. So she's part of Boba's crew.
And then, she's the one, she's got, like, strawberry blonde hair that's in pigtails, and she has a look of, like, she's a little girl.
Yeah,
but she's all grown up, and she's fucking deadly as fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've seen all of them before, and then we get to the fucking fan favorite who long time ago in one of the type pods, fucking gave him the moniker of Bouncing Baby Boba.
But he's all grown up too, sort of.
Well, not.
They said late. They say late teens.
Yeah, well, I consider what he was in Empire to be all grown up.
Well, yeah, he's like fucking middle age almost in that one.
Well, he would be in like his 30s, wouldn't he? Or 40s. I don't know. He's an old fuck. But yeah, Boba, they've got a fucking teenager as their boss. Which, that feels a little weird, but a little cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got the pedigree, and, I guess when you surround yourself with people that will follow you, then you get to be boss.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm not saying he could take over anybody's crew, but...
But if he tells them, hey, I'm in charge, and they're like, okay, I guess that's how you get your crew.
Yeah, but it sure does feel like he took over Cad Bane's crew.
Yeah.
Because wasn't Bosk part of... No, IG-88 was part of Cad Bane's crew. And I think Bosk was too, actually, at one point.
There was quite a few of them there, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact
So I always
expected
at some point in the Clone Wars we'd see Boba Fett kill Cad Bane and take over his crew.
Yeah, I hope that at
didn't
some
happen.
point we get a novel or a straight-to-video movie or something where we see what happened to Cad Bane, because it would feel kind of weird if all of a sudden he shows up in Rebels too.
Oh, yeah.
It would feel like a little bit too much of your chocolate and my peanut butter. Even though, I like the character, it's a touch too much. Voss goes over and chats up Boba, and...
But I like, too, how he's walking up to this table with Bosk, and and he's eyeballing each one of these people and basically going through their, it's almost like the Terminator, the way this reads.
Yeah.
Like, in his mind, he's going, this is this person, blah, blah, and their whole biography or their whole rap sheet, goes by in his mind. He knows exactly who all these people are and what their background is. I thought that was a cool way to introduce each one. Yeah,
and it's a nice little nod, I guess, to the actual show, without it being, over the top or in your face.
Mm-hmm.
The droid. Who the fuck is the droid?
Oh, I think they said his name is Highsinger.
Yeah, is that the little dude in the droid body, or who the fuck is it?
No, I don't think so. I think that's new. I'll have to look it up. That's something I didn't research.
Okay.
But I think that might be a new character.
Okay.
What I thought was surprising is that Boba Fett shaved his head.
Yeah, that's fucked up, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Which, at some point, when he was in prison, didn't he have a shaved head there?
Oh, did he? Maybe he did.
So, well, that's one of the weird things, because, after episode 2, we don't know what the fuck happened to Boba until he pops up in episode 5.
Well,
so,
after episode 2, you don't know what happens until he pops up in Clone Wars.
Well, I mean, even then, you don't really know what happens to him, because he just kind of pops up, tries to kill Mace, and then he's gone. He pops up, you see him with a shaved head. So it's we don't know if he picked up that style and dug it and kept it under the helmet. We don't know.
Oh, yeah, you don't know. I always imagined that he probably did, have close cropped hair, maybe not shaved, but short, Jango.
Kind of like the clones do?
Yeah, or like Jango's was kind of short.
Yeah. It's weird. You never see a fucking clone with long hair.
No, dude, they're in the army. They can have fucked up sideways mohawks and shit, but off the collar.
Yeah. I wonder if, it could be something, like the clones where, like you said, they're in the army and shit, so they keep it close, or if it's just left over from prison, or whatever the fuck it is. I want to know more about Boba Fett is what I'm fucking saying. And I was never one of those people that was a huge Boba Fett fan until, Clone Wars when he popped up and was like, oh shit, he's back. Okay, now tell me what's going on with him. How does he get Slave 1 back? How does this happen,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He pops up here, and once again, it's so what the fuck happened to him from now until episode 5?
Well, he's kind of like Wolverine. Once you tell too much, there's a line, and once you go over that line, the character's not that cool anymore. And they haven't crossed the line for me yet, but I'm afraid that one day they will.
I don't know. I mean, Wolverine's still fucking cool to me, even though
he's still cool, but that mystique is kind of gone, because you know all about him.
Well, I mean, this is, again, another debate for the main show.
Yeah.
But I'm the type that I want to know everything. Give me fucking 12 books to read and 3 comic series and a movie to read and watch so I know everything.
Yeah, I do too. I'm just saying that after I've done all that, then I'm like, maybe I should have kept some mystery.
Yeah, I've never really had that feeling. To me, it's more about the journey. It's more about the journey than the destination. If you fucking tell me a good story along the way, I'm fine with it. Because I can always fucking go back and reread all that fucking fun shit, rewatch all that fun shit, and it doesn't really bug me. So anywho, back to the book.
Stay on target.
Yeah, exactly. He goes over and he tells Boba, hey, this broad fucked me over, and Boba's like, oh yeah, she's fucked me over too. And Boba ends up just telling Voss that he heard where she's at. She's on Pantora, chasing down somebody. And Voss goes off to chase her, and they're like, what a dupe. He doesn't know what he's in for.
Good luck with that.
And that leads us into the last part of chapter, what is it, 4?
4, yep. Where we are first introduced to Asajj in this book.
Which, for the first time, as we can see on the cover, she's got hair.
Yeah, which is strange because they're still calling her the Bald Banshee, but she has hair now.
Which I guess goes to show you that nobody's seen her in a while.
Well, good point. Yeah, she's probably not seen too often.
She likes to stick to the shadows. Ha-ha.
Ha-ha.
And yeah, we see her chasing down her target on Pantora, which that's the planet with the blue people from the Clone Wars, right? Isn't it?
I'm not sure. I don't have my interwebs device close by now, so I can't look it up.
Oh, I could be fucking that up, but I thought it was. The moon. Okay, this is a moon of Pantora. Or wait, no, Pantora is a moon. The moon. Here's the description of it. The moon was as temperate as the planet was icy and hostile.
Oh, okay, so yeah, so this is a moon of so Pantora is icy and hostile. So you're right, it probably is that.
So yeah, it's not far from there.
So Papa Noida and all those guys are from there.
Yeah, George and his daughter.
Yeah.
Which I think that's funny that they include that. And I wonder if, Katie included it herself, since, that's where they're from.
Well, it could be. She wrote an episode of the Clone Wars that focused on them, on that family. Exactly,
which she's always said that Ventress was one of her favorite characters. This is Ventress's introduction into the book.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Katie
if she wrote
handled
this
all the Ventress shit. Yeah.
Could be. They
because
don't really say.
It's funny to tie that in.
Yeah, they don't really say who got credit on each individual, but there's really only three writers credited, right? So
yeah, 3 writers for 8 episodes. So what it might be is that all the specific Ventress shit Katie wrote, mm-hmm. and like Filoni and the other dude, Matt, I forget his last name, they might have written all the other shit and just let Katie handle Ventress.
Could be.
And then because if it's 8 episodes, I said before, I don't know if it was an arc, 1 8-episode arc, but they could have just broke it down and be like, okay, Katie, you'll get all the Ventress shit, and then I'll take credit for this episode, he'll take credit for this episode, and you take credit for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like I said before, this might be 2 arcs, but these 3 writers worked on them in like a mini writer's room, mm-hmm. and just split it up that way, credit-wise. But anywho, Ventress is chasing down her prey.
Well, she's kind of just hanging out on top of a building, right?
Well,
kind of spying.
Traveling the rooftops, following him.
Mm-hmm.
Until she gets down to his level and starts chasing him. Ready to, go in for the capture. But
mm-hmm.
before she can, what happens?
He gets tackled by somebody.
Yeah, and she kind of fucking gets weirded out by it and is like, what the hell is this? And he's like, yeah, it's called a tackle. Turns out it's Quinlan found her.
Right.
And sniped her fucking...
Yeah, it snagged her bounty.
Yeah, which is what he was going around claiming she did to him. So I'm wondering if, at some point he'll be like, hey, you fucked me over, so...
Yeah, like that's how he's going to use it to get in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
and
you stole one of mine, I'm stealing one of yours.
Yes. From that right there, business is about to pick up because we've seen Ventress in 5-6 seasons of the Clone Wars. She ain't gonna take too kindly to that.
Yeah, she don't take no bullshit.
But they do talk about her being one of the Night Sisters and...
Oh, right, when she's watching
her
from the building and she's watching all the... Yeah, she's watching all the couples in the square or whatever walking around, the lovebirds and the families and all that stuff, and she gets kind of a little mopey.
Yeah, because her family's just fucking dead.
Because who killed them? Dooku killed them. Which is just yet another reason why she hates them. Because he wiped out the Night Sisters.
As if fucking telling her, bye bitch, you're done here, wasn't enough. He's like, and your family's dead. Ha ha! Their meeting is the end of chapter 4. How do you feel about these 2 chapters and all the shit that's packed in them, especially chapter 4?
Well, I mean, obviously I thought it was, I thought these were a lot meatier chapters than the first 2. The first 2 were kind of just set up, and these 2 are like really starting to get into some interesting shit.
And it's like I said, I think I DM'd you and said, I wouldn't expect it to get all that interesting this quick. Boy, was I wrong, because for me it usually takes about 100 pages of setup. I've noticed it's like 100 pages of setup, you've got the middle, and then those last 100 pages, it's shit just flying at you, and it's breakneck speed. Here, they throw a lot of cool shit at you.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that they actually do have some surprises. Like, I didn't know Boba Fett was going to be in this or make an appearance. I didn't know.
I've heard a lot of people talk about this, and that wasn't mentioned. So
no, the only thing I've ever heard is the big spoiler for the end, and
yes,
I'm not going to give away until we get there.
No,
but that's the only thing I've ever heard about this book, really.
It seemed like everything else got swept under the rug, and it's like, we're what, 40 pages in? Yeah, we're 40 pages in. A lot of cool fucking shit's happened. They've referenced a lot of shit. Fun shit's been going down. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what happens next. I want to see what other cool little nuggets of backstory and cool little shit they're going to throw in. Additions to the mythos.
Yeah, and it's gonna, everything that comes up, it's gonna have me questioning, was this from the episode? Or is this from Christie Golden? Or is it from the story group?
No, I think it's all from, I'm going to guess it's probably 90% all from the scripts. And all she did was flesh it out and make it fit together better. Give more prose, because obviously the scripts wouldn't have very much prose and not a ton of description in it necessarily.
No.
Mostly dialogue.
Have you ever read any of the Clone Wars scripts?
No. Are they like extras on the Blu-rays and stuff? No?
No, but I was just wondering if any of them had been released anywhere or anything, and you'd been able to read them.
Not that I'm aware of, but it wouldn't be surprising if they had at some point. Although they never really released a whole lot of Clone Wars merch.
Which, that was kind of depressing.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen some more shit.
Well, like, for season 1, they did a episode guide.
Right.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and then everything like went online. Like the episode guides were, they would do episode guides online and stuff, so I guess they figured, why pay to print books?
That to me sucks, because you've got the first one out there, it's got the movie in the first season. It would be nice to have that detail for the rest of the series. Yeah. But I doubt there's any chance of that anymore.
Yeah, I do think they include a lot of that in they do include a lot of stuff in like the definitive guides that they put out.
Oh, do they?
I think so. I think they include a lot of Clone Wars stuff now, and I mean it's not to the same level of detail as like an actual episode guide for a season of the show, but
yeah,
they do include a lot of that information.
Well, that's good. Overall, you digging these episodes? These chapters?
Yeah, I'm into it. I'm glad that I was kind of afraid I would be not into it.
Yeah.
Like when we picked this book, I was like, oh man, I hope I like it. I hope I'm not just gonna fucking rip on this book the whole time.
Well, for me, this and A New Dawn, those were the 2 books I was most excited for. And I haven't read A New Dawn yet, so this is my first entry into the new canon, other than obviously episode 7.
Well, yeah, and I've read some of the new canon stuff, so that's probably why I was more apprehensive. Like I started to read New Dawn, and it was snooze. I was not into it at all.
Well,
I started to read Aftermath. I didn't buy the book, but I read like the first chapter or whatever they put out, and I was like, ugh.
Oh yeah, that excerpt.
Yeah, I was like, ugh, this is weird. And then the reviews came in, and everybody was like, this is shit. This is like the fucking worst written book ever. So then I didn't even bother trying. And then
I remember that author taking a lot of fucking shit for it, and he was like, look, fuck off, okay? I'm setting up a story. Yeah. But it's like, you've got to fucking service the story you're telling, not worry about the future.
Well, and you've got to know that like this is coming out in conjunction with one of the most anticipated movies of all time.
Oh, and no shit, yeah.
And like it's supposed to be like, well, here's what happens before that. This is what happens right after one of the most successful films of all time, Return of the Jedi.
Totally. I mean,
and then it comes out and it's like a fucking wet fart. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad you're planning for the future.
Yeah, I mean,
nobody's going to read the second book because this one sucked.
Exactly. When you put Journey to the Force Awakens, to Star Wars: The Force Awakens on the front, that's fucking setting you up for failure on its own, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of fucked the dude anyway.
Yeah, and then I read, what's the other one? Oh, and I read the Force Awakens novel, and that was like PU. That was so dry and so like yuck.
And you've read Bloodline, haven't you?
I've started to read Bloodline, and Bloodline was the first one that I started, and I was like, holy shit, this is fucking good.
That, from what I've heard, that and Tarkin are probably the best ones so far, other than this.
Right. And Tarkin that's new canon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't read that one, but those other ones I read were all pretty stinky. So
yeah.
I was like, oh man, I hope this one's good.
A New Dawn, the reason I'm looking forward to that one so much is because John Jackson Miller is one of my favorite Star Wars authors.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not bad. It just wasn't, I don't know. I'll have to read it again because I do like those characters.
Future
I like
Book
Rebels.
Club.
Yeah, but it was just kind of slow and kind of not, especially having seen like the first season of Rebels before I started to try to read it. It was like, oh, this really isn't like the show very much. You know, there's not like tons of shit happening. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of slow.
Like I said, this and A New Dawn are the ones that I was most looking forward to. And this is the only novel from the new canon that I've actually read any of. And I'm really fucking digging it.
Me too.
Wanting to read more, which, I mean, I've read a lot of novels where it's like, well, I've started it, I gotta finish it now, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, maybe 30% of the way through Bloodlines, and I kind of got derailed. And then we started this, so I didn't ever go back to it.
Yeah.
But it starts really strong, and it's kind of slowed down a little bit where I'm at. But yeah, I think it's far superior to all the other ones in the new canon.
Yeah.
And it actually feels like Star Wars. It sounds like Star Wars. It sounds like Princess Leia. It feels like, you know. And that's what this book is so far. It feels like the Clone Wars.
Exactly.
Which duh, they took it right from scripts for the Clone Wars, so why wouldn't it?
Yeah. And, like, Clone Wars, we've talked about this before many times. Clone Wars added a lot of new spokes to the wheel. Clone Wars fucking, especially with, like, the Night Sisters, which is, you know, part of Ventress's origin, a lot of that shit, if you would just play those episodes out of order, that would throw you for a loop. Because I remember when I first watched those, I was like, what the fuck? This does not feel Star Wars-y at all.
Mm-hmm.
But they added a new fucking piece of clay to the ball, and now it's like, that's Star Wars.
Right. It definitely was out of the box for the time.
Yeah. So that really opened me up to being able to accept, you know, new, different shit, which, I mean, it's kind of weird to say since I've read like 40 of the old novels already.
Mm-hmm.
But that opened me up to accepting a lot of shit as Star Wars in a way that some of those old books never did. Because, like, there's a zombie novel in the old canon called Red Harvest.
Uh-huh, yep.
And it's a problem I have with most zombie fiction. It just doesn't do jack shit for me. And that just felt totally fucking weird. Zombies in Star Wars doesn't work. But then there's that episode, that arc in season 2 where the clones
the brain
get those
eaters,
fucking... Yeah. And they turn into zombies. And you've got those zombie fucking Geonosians.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Clone Wars does a lot of good for the saga. I'm excited to read more. I'm hoping a couple of these chapters are really slow, because at the pace we're going, this is going to take us like 20-something weeks. Yeah, it's going to take 22 weeks if we go 2 chapters at a time.
Yeah, we may have to increase our pace a little bit.
Yeah, and stop going off track. Ah, well, it's all fun. Now let's get to our thank yous.
Yes.
First of all, always thanks go to @theJSarge for the intro that we use for both this and the main show. I mean, we're like, almost 20 times we've used it now? Still fucking works, man.
Yeah. hasn't gotten old yet.
Nope. He's got a podcast, again, can't forget that. Jeff Knows Nothing, Jeff with one F, right?
Right, one F.
It's on SoundCloud, or, again, I think it's I think he's got a site for it, jeffknowsnothing.blogspot.com.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Jeff with one F.
Yeah, and if you haven't listened to it, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty cool gimmick.
Which is just, somebody sends in a question.
Yeah, he takes user-submitted questions, and he has his daughter pick one. He doesn't know what it's going to be, and she asks him the question, and he has to, come up with some bullshit explanation or answer to the question on the spot. So basically, it's just him talking out of his ass for 15 minutes and trying to prove that he doesn't not know nothing.
He doesn't not know nothing?
Yeah.
The wording of it's pretty funny, though. He does not know nothing.
It's all those years of college that allows me to speak good.
You talk real good, like.
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, for our logo, thanks go to @SherrySays.
Yep.
It's fucking pretty cool.
Yeah, much like the music that hasn't gotten old yet either.
No, not at all.
We've actually modified it a couple times into slightly different designs for different uses, and right now you can get it on merchandise at redbubble.com.
Which there's all kinds of merch there.
Yeah, coffee mugs, t-shirts, stickers.
Well, I mean, not just that. We've got the main show logo, then we've got catchphrase merchandise.
Oh, right, I forgot. There's the Anywho shirts and mugs and whatnot.
And let's see what else.
That was quote-unquote designed by me.
Yeah.
If you can call that designing.
I couldn't do it, so why not?
Yeah, I guess.
So yeah, thanks to Sherry for that. And then thanks to the two ladies that are really ladies who helped with the intro, @BatCat37 and @TESDGroupie.
Yeah, they did a great job.
See you next week.
Bookmark it.
This has been a feature of JJ2E Media and TSDJA Productions.